There was a stretch there, and you guys were so hot with the 36 points in the quarter there, and you're just running up and down the court. Was it as much fun as it looked like to people watching it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
The Indiana Fever just dismantled the Dallas Wings, but the real game wasn't played on the court. It was played after the final buzzer, behind the microphones of a post-game press conference. In that sterile room, Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston weren't just answering questions. They were sending calculated, coded messages to the entire WNBA. What they said was a quiet declaration of war, revealing a level of confidence so deep it should make every other team profoundly uncomfortable. This wasn't just a victory. It was the public unveiling of a terrifying new mindset that is poised to take over the league.
Going up against one another in the WNBA. It is also only Caitlin Clark's third game back from injury, and this season for the Indiana Fever has been a roller coaster ride. There has been ups, there has been downs, there has been times that we have been so confused on what is actually going on with this team. And I'll start off by saying I feel like this was one of their best games as far as playing Fever basketball.
On the surface, this was simply a dominant performance. The Fever dropped 101 points, fueled by a stunning masterclass in ball movement. Clark orchestrated the offense like a seasoned conductor, tying her career high with 5 steals while dishing out 13 assists. In the paint, Boston was an absolute force of nature, looking stronger, faster, and more powerful than ever before. It was the kind of victory that makes for electrifying highlight reels and gets fans buzzing, but if you stop at the box score, you miss the entire story. The numbers only tell you what happened, the post-game interview tells you what's coming next.
Caitlin, I believe you hit the first shot you took today, kind of deep sigh of relief, but what is it like to get out of the shooting slump, but also beyond that, just see the playmaking overall from you down the line throughout your entire team, 30 assists tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I still probably didn't shoot it as good as I would have liked, but I feel like it's coming. I'm just trying to continue to get my legs under me, and like I said pregame, like I feel like I'm a couple shots away from like having a really good game. So
the first clue that something was profoundly different came directly from Caitlin Clark. After a game where her team was nearly perfect and she was the primary playmaker, a reporter asked her about her performance. Her response was deeply unsettling. "I still probably didn't shoot it as good as I would have liked," she stated, with the casual deadpan of someone discussing the weather. This wasn't a humble athlete deflecting praise. This was something else entirely.
like having a really good game. So, but I mean, I thought my playmaking was really good. There was, I mean, no reason for me to really shoot that much. I thought, like, you look at the box, like 12 shot attempts, 11, 9, 8, 7, 6, like just very balanced. And, you know, people executed. And when we have, you know, 5 people in double figures, like, I feel like we're going to be pretty hard to beat. Like, it would take a lot for a team to beat us. And I think we were just kind of firing on all cylinders, moving the ball well, getting to the next action, played out a pick and roll well, and then...
This was the brand of permanent, relentless dissatisfaction that fuels legends. In the wake of a blowout win where her leadership was undeniable, her first internal thought was a criticism of her own offensive efficiency. It reveals a personal standard so astronomically high that even a near-perfect team performance feels fundamentally incomplete. It's the mindset of a predator who is always searching for the next weakness to exploit, even if that weakness is her own. And what happened next showed this was a team-wide mentality.
Kind of Aliyah, off that point, where have you seen, especially the second half of the last game, going into such a strong first half tonight, and then you're able to keep your foot on the gas? Where do you feel like the biggest change, or I guess change, has been to really be so dominant and consistent offensively as a group?
Honestly, I think it starts on the defensive end. We talk about that all the time, just making sure that we get stops because we like to play fast. We like to get the ball up and go in transition. And so we knew that we just had to make sure that we were focused on that end and make sure that we're connected on the defensive end. And then that sparks our offense and we're good to go.
That single comment was a chilling window into her ambition, but it was only half of the story. Her teammate, Aliyah Boston, revealed the other half with a statement that was somehow even more subtle, yet even more intimidating. When a reporter pointed out the obvious, that she looked significantly stronger and faster this season, Boston's response was a masterclass in psychological warfare.
You look a lot stronger.
Oh, slay.
You've had a couple strong seasons, but... Is there some kind of secret sauce to your success right now? I mean, you just look a lot stronger and a lot faster.
No, I don't think so. I think just making sure that I was ready to come in. Obviously, playing with the sprinter over here, she likes to get up and down. I think going into this year, I knew that a lot better than coming into my last year. And so for me, I think I was just prepared and ready to go.
She casually dismissed the observation, coolly saying, no, I don't think so. This wasn't a lie. It was a power move of the highest order. Boston has clearly undergone a complete physical metamorphosis, moving with an explosive energy that wasn't there before. By downplaying it, she sent a clear and devastating message to the league. This isn't a temporary peak. This is the new normal.
Talk so much about your offense and playmaking and shot making, but defensively, tied your career out with 5 steals tonight. How do you think that first one, though, I think it might have been on page, but just coming across court, you get it, and how do you think that set the tone for the rest of the defense throughout the game?
Yeah, well, I knew my team was ready and trap beat on the sideline, so kind of just made a read. I saw she was going to throw it to her post player and was able to get my hand on it and then got a few deflections out of guard-to-guard switches. So I think just being active, I can be a really good defender when I choose to and when I work really hard on it and not conserve energy. So proud of myself in that regard, and I think that probably motivates our offense. Like when I bring a tenacity on the defensive end, I think it really helps our offense go. And
the unspoken truth hangs in the air. To play with a generational talent like Clark, who pushes the pace to its absolute limit, a different level of physical commitment is required. Boston didn't just get in shape, she had to reforge her body to survive and thrive in Clark's high-tempo universe. Now that she's done it, she's acting like it was no big deal. That quiet, unshakable confidence is far more menacing than any boastful claim could ever be.
Caitlin, just 13 assists for you and then 30 assists as an entire team. Just what was working so well with you seeing the floor and just the entire team?
Yeah, 30 assists on 40 made shots is about as good as it's going to get. That's really impressive, and I think it just shows the selflessness of this group is you're just trying to find your teammate, trying to get to the next action, trying to give up a good shot for a great shot, and just really proud of this group of how we share the ball, and makes us really hard to guard, like I've said. So that's something that Steph always preaches and something she always talks about is, how many of our field goals are assisted. So we're always looking for high numbers there, and 30 on 40 made field goals is.
If the individual comments were unsettling, the team statistics from that night were downright terrifying. The Indiana Fever recorded 30 assists on 40 made baskets. Let that number sink in for a moment. 75% of their scoring plays came directly from a pass that set up a teammate. This isn't just good basketball, it's the statistical proof of something much more dangerous. This is evidence of a hive mind. A team that moves with that level of synchronicity is operating on a different plane. When 5 different players score in double figures, you can no longer game plan to stop 1 or 2 stars. You are forced to try and beat a system, an ideology of unselfishness that prioritizes the great shot over the good one every single time, and that presents a mathematical nightmare for any opponent. Clark herself pointed this out, noting there was no reason for me to really shoot that much. This wasn't a player being passive, it was a leader who understands that her greatest power isn't just her own shot, but her ability to make everyone around her an unstoppable threat. She has created an offensive juggernaut that is fundamentally broken from a defensive standpoint, but their strategy went far beyond just offense. The psychological games continued when they were asked about facing the phenomenal rookie, Paige Bueckers. Both Clark and Boston, along with their coach, executed a perfect masterclass in professional dominance. There was no trash talk, no dismissiveness. Instead, there was a form of carefully measured respect that was actually a show of force. Coach Stephanie White called Bueckers fun to watch, not as an opponent. A brilliant comment that simultaneously praises the rookie while reinforcing the Fever's position as the team nobody wants to face. It frames them as the ultimate challenge, the final boss. Clark and Boston followed this lead, treating Bueckers not as a peer, but as a promising up-and-comer who was getting her first taste of the big leagues. This is a classic veteran tactic. By showing calculated respect, they asserted their own hierarchy in the league without saying a single negative word. The unspoken message was deafeningly clear. You're good, kid, but you're playing in our house now by our rules. It was a subtle but powerful way to establish their status as the gatekeepers of the league's elite. And then, the most shocking moment of all was revealed. The most jaw-dropping, revealing, and frankly stunning moment of the entire press conference came from a single, brutally honest confession from Caitlin Clark. When asked about her 5 steals, she explained her defensive prowess with a line that should send a shiver down the spine of every coach in the WNBA. She looked at the reporter and admitted, "I can be a really good defender when I choose to, and not conserve energy." This one sentence laid everything bare. It was a moment of shocking transparency that pulled back the curtain on her entire game. This was more than just an explanation. It was a confession and a threat all rolled into one. First, it was a direct confession that in past games, she has been coasting on the defensive end. It's an admission that what the league has seen from her defensively so far has not been her full effort. It completely reframes every previous performance and forces everyone to reevaluate what they thought they knew about her limitations. But what she said next was even more terrifying. Her statement was also a direct threat. She was openly telling the world that she possesses a level of defensive intensity that the league hasn't even seen yet, and that she can deploy it at will whenever she deems it necessary. She is essentially warning everyone that her current, already impressive defensive stats are her casual effort. The very idea that there is another higher gear of defensive lockdown that Caitlin Clark can shift into is a terrifying prospect for every single guard who will have to face her. It suggests that when the games truly matter, she can transform into a two-way monster. This wasn't a slip of the tongue, it was a warning shot fired across the bow of the entire league. When you put all the pieces together, a clear and undeniable picture emerges. This isn't just a team hitting its stride at the right time. This is the deliberate, meticulous construction of a dynasty's foundation. Boston's emphasis on defense sparking their offense isn't just a soundbite, it's the core philosophy of a championship-level team. This represents a complete cultural shift for the franchise. The Fever of just a few years ago is gone, replaced by a team that thinks and acts with a single purpose. They are building a culture of relentless improvement, strategic communication, and psychological dominance. They are no longer playing to just make the playoffs. They are playing to build an empire. What makes them so dangerous is the combination of supreme confidence and startling self-awareness. They are dominating opponents while simultaneously believing they have another level to reach. That mentality is the true secret sauce of greatness. It prevents complacency and ensures that their ceiling is constantly rising. They are playing chess while everyone else is still playing checkers. This isn't just about winning individual games anymore. It's about building a legacy and establishing an era of dominance that will be remembered for years. Their vision extends far beyond the current season, but what does it all mean for the future? In the end, the 101-point victory against Dallas was just the opening act. The real performance, the one that truly matters, was the one they gave behind the microphones. Clark and Boston proved they are no longer just talented players. They are master tacticians, both on and off the court. With a few carefully chosen words, they put the entire league on notice. The question is no longer if the Indiana Fever can become a contender. The only question left to ask is who, if anyone, is going to be able to stop them now that they have started to believe in their own destiny. Their journey is just beginning, and the rest of the league has been officially warned. Watching this team operate is a powerful reminder that greatness is never an accident. It's a choice, a commitment made every single day, long before the lights turn on and the crowds start cheering. The level of dedication shown by players like Clark and Boston, the willingness to rebuild your body, to never be satisfied with success, to hold yourself to a standard that no one else can see, is a blueprint for excellence in any field. It's a testament to the idea that our true potential is not a fixed point, but an ever-expanding horizon that we chase with relentless passion. So whatever your court, whatever your game, remember that the most important opponent you will ever face is the person you were yesterday. Push past your limits, demand more from yourself, and never ever believe that you have finally arrived. Your best performance is still ahead of you.